to something very, very different. Because the Belgrove group of companies is celebrating its 125th anniversary, which will be coming up next month. And to commemorate the occasion, there will be an interment of a time capsule on August the 22nd, encapsulating life in 2013. And it's going to be open some 30 years later, August the 22nd, I assume, 2043. Here to tell us more about the occasion, the event, the 125th anniversary, is the General Manager of Operations, Dave Gopaul. Very good morning to you, Mr. Gopaul. Good to have you on the program. You think Belgroves, you think burying, you think interment, you think cremation, you think dying. I know it's going to sound crude, but Belgroves has benefited for 125 years from people dying.
Well, I mean, we are an organization that's like any other, and it's a business operation to start with. So yes, there will be, profits included in that whole setup. Yeah.
Yes, and talking about the 125 years, how significant is that for any organization, for any business operation of whatever nature, to reach a milestone of 125 years?
Well, I think clearly it has to be very significant, and for us more so because it is a family-owned operation, and to last 125 years. I mean, when we had our 100th year, it was very significant for us, and here we are another 25 years. But it's very significant for us as a company, I think for any organization to reach that milestone. We are probably one of the oldest organizations, companies in Trinidad and Tobago, more so a family-run organization. That's 125 years. I don't know of many others that that age.
And indeed, and that centenary would have been in 1988, so it's founded in 1888, yes. And so therefore 125 years. It's referred to as the Belgroves group of companies. Are they affiliated businesses, or is it primarily the business of dead people?
Well, I notice every time you say dead people, you're stepping back a little bit there.
That's a real queasy thing. I mean, death is part of life.
Of course.
Death is the inevitable consequence of life. But the reality is, people don't want to talk about death.
That's all right. Yeah. But you did shake my hand, so I'm okay with that.
Whatever it is, to watch it over. But yeah, are there other?
Yeah. I mean, we started as a funeral home, and this started way back in 1888, as we said, and it was a ex-slave, Mary Belgrove, that we understand came from Barbados, and she set up shop here in Trinidad many years ago. Not at the location we're at now. Of course, over time we've moved on and so on, but that's where it started. Right now we are 5th and 6th generation, and the CEO is 5th generation, the assistant CEO, his daughter, she's 6th generation. So, but we've been around for all this time, and it's started as a funeral home, yes, but now we've got along the way, we've got caskets and funeral supplies, and they're in the business, of course, of making caskets, and of course we supply locally to other funeral homes, as well as we export to some of the Caribbean islands. And
because of all the technology that is required with the embalming of bodies and all of that sort of thing, how challenging is it to keep up to date with all of the technological requirements when it comes to basically dealing with someone who has passed away, and also the sensitivity that is required, because yes, it's a business, but it's the business of grief in some respects. How do you avoid it just simply being, as soon as somebody walks through the door, another check is coming in?
Yeah, and it's not about that, at least not from where we sit. We do have a philosophy that we operate with, and that is that if we can make the funeral experience a good one for the bereaved person, for the surviving relatives, then that coping process is going to be so much easier. And for us as a society, that coping process and that recovery from the grief is very important, because it affects you when you go back to work, when you go back to school, how you perform and so on. So there are also side effects. So we take that very seriously, and that's why we take a very professional approach to grief, to planning of the funeral, to the counseling aspect of the whole arrangement and so on, so that the whole experience for surviving relatives, because that's who we serve.
Yeah, exactly. In reality, it really don't matter what you do, exactly. But obviously for the surviving relatives, it clearly does.
How their loved one looks on, in that casket is very important in terms of how they grieve after.
Are people obsessed with the cosmetics of the thing, that they want, people to look,
Well, you see, the job of the funeral director and the embalmer is to make that person look as natural as possible, right? So that the client and the surviving relatives, as we say, they are satisfied, they are pleased. So it's not about heavy cosmetics. I mean, that may be once upon a time, but it doesn't have to be now, because as I said, you know, it's a very professional operation now, and the science behind it and so on has brought it a long way.
Let's talk about the event on the 22nd of August.
So let me say, we started talking about the group of companies.
Yeah, sure.
So I just mentioned one.
Yeah.
So there's the Casket and Funeral Supplies. We've got Cemetery Management Company as well, and they're in the business of managing cemeteries, maintaining cemeteries. We do construction of tombs and headstones and so on. In there, we also have our own cemetery at the Belgroves Group called Orange Grove Memorial Gardens. That's located up at Twin City, and that's a whole new system with a lawn-type cemetery with underground burial crypts and so on. You should come and see it one day.
No, not me, Skipper. It's not a matter I'm afraid, I'm scared. They're dead, they're gone. So the business of death is big money.
Well, there are many aspects to it. So anyway, it's an industry. We've got, as I said, the casket factory, the cemetery aspect of it. We've got pre-planning and pre-funding for funerals as well. You can pre-plan your funeral, Fazeer. And things like that. You see,
all of that, like, when God willing, whenever it happens. If I die this morning, I in the hole this afternoon. So Belgroves wouldn't.
Somebody has to do it. Somebody has to do it.
Unfortunately, Belgroves wouldn't benefit from my death in that sense.
That's all right. It's not about that.
But talking about the time capsule itself and the occasion on the 22nd, tell us about what is the intention behind it.
Right. So we have always been very strong as a funeral home, as a company, on family history and family heritage and so on. And so this is the idea behind this time capsule that we want to do as the major part of our 125th anniversary celebration. It will be done at our head office, which is Coffee Street, San Fernando, and right outside of our office there, you know, it will be placed underground in this time capsule.
So what is going to be in that time capsule? So if you're going to capture life in 2013 in Trinidad and Tobago, what is going to be in that time capsule?
Well, how we're doing it, we are inviting the public and individuals and organizations to subscribe to it. Yes. So anyone interested can contact us, and you know, we'll give you some details about how it will work. But you can place in it, and offer to place in it, anything from pictures, newspaper clippings, maybe a CD with some music of 2013.
Is the capsule going to be a big box or something?
Yeah, it's an underground vault, and it's about 8 feet long, right? But for each space that you get, that's just a 12 by 12 box that you get. Right? So you
have to pay for it, obviously.
Well, we have paid and unpaid, because we're offering for some, depending on the type of organization, they can put some stuff in there.
Before we continue on it, is there a deadline by which people should contact Belgroves, and in fact, how do they contact Belgroves if they want to take advantage of this opportunity?
All right. Well, we were 223-2178. That's our telephone contact, 223-2178, and you'll get the information when you call the Belgroves Funeral Home through our marketing department.
So basically what you're doing, if it is that any company decides that they want to capitalize on this and to bury something or the other, it's going to be open in 30 years' time.
It's going to be open in 30 years.
So from Belgroves' point of view, have you determined what is going to be put in your box or whatever it is that will capture specific times, like August 22nd, 2013?
Well, we're going to do a lot of funeral home stuff. We're going to try to capture what has been in the past. We've been collecting some of that stuff that we've over the years, and as well, we want to put some things about what we think funeral home service might be 30 years from now. So it's a similar type of thing we're suggesting to the family. I mean, things like your family tree. Maybe you want to leave a gift for your little son. 30 years from now, we can get this gift. You know,
so private individuals can access this as well.
Of course. Church groups, a media organization like this. Maybe you want to
put the story about the Guardian. What's going on at the Guardian right now, to see what happens again in 30 years time.
In 30 years sometime. So that's kind of, so it's wide open for whatever you would want to put in there. Somebody wants to put, you know, a little projection of what his 2-year-old son might look like 30 years from now.
And to see if it turns out correct.
We can put, you know, an iPod.
Or somebody might say, in 30 years' time, West Indies will be up in number 1 in Test cricket. And then they find out 30 years' time that we don't play cricket anymore.
We don't play cricket anymore. So that's a possibility, So, you know, somebody wants to put an iPod, 30 years we may not even have iPods again. You know,
Only battery life will be able to play it in 30 years' time.
It may not be able to play. Music of the times, our culture, our dress, and so on. We may be a very different hairstyle and very different way of dressing 30 years from now. Eh?
You never know. They say styles go around and come around.
So that's the idea. That's the idea. We want to.
But is there a deadline by which people should contact Belgroves if they want to be part of this?
Our deadline right now is the end of this month, July month.
Okay, so July 31st.
July 31st, yeah.
So July 31st, you call 223-2178, talk to the marketing people to be able to put something in the time capsule.
And as I said, so individuals and organizations, and we're inviting anyone who is interested in something like that.
Well, they're in the business of burial, so you know they go bury time capsule very well. Mr. Gopaul.
I don't know if there's any other time capsule that's been done, but you know we're hoping this one will be really.
So the plan is to open it, God willing, on August 22nd, 2043.
That's it.
You
should be around.
I don't know, because the way things are, you never know the way things are these days. Mr. Gopaul, thanks very much, for coming in. So you have the chance if you'd like privately, company-wise, or whatever. Or again, maybe you want to say West Indies will be #1 in the world, or Trinidad and Tobago will win a football World Cup by 2043. Might even not even qualify. You never know. But anyway, that's your opportunity. 223-2178. If you want to be part of this opportunity for the interment of the time capsule on August 22nd. That's basically next month. It's going to be a Thursday, and you should keep that in mind. 7:21 in Trinidad and Tobago, also on a Thursday. We'll be back right after this.